Dear Starseed from Gaia, the Source prepared two men to reveal what your heart truly desires. But the third connection will appear from beyond everything you expected. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the reunion guides are speaking through me for this divinely timed moment. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to recognize your divine counterpart. But here's the first revelation. The two men who entered your path were not mistakes or wasted chapters. Each one awakened a part of your heart, clarified what love is not, and prepared you to recognize the soul who arrives without confusion, pursuit, or emotional struggle. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in. This isn't just a message. It is a moment of divine intervention. Your soul has been waiting for this guidance. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for divine love. Comment, Elevenant. If you feel your heart awakening to divine truth, your heart knows why you're here. Not every soul who hears this message is ready to act on it. But if your heart is beating differently right now, if something inside you whispered, "This is for me," then the next step has already chosen you. The Divine Love Frequency Code holds the complete activation sequence for sacred partnership, the wound clearing, the recognition map, the 11-minute practice that shifts your entire energetic field. You'll find it in the first pinned comment, below but only while this window remains open. And now, let yourself breathe before you decide what any of this means. You are not being asked to force an answer, chase a sign, or turn every familiar feeling into a prophecy. You are not being asked to examine every message, every coincidence, or every glance until your mind becomes exhausted trying to translate heaven. The deeper message is not simply that two people may have been placed along your path while a third appears unexpectedly. The deeper message is that your soul is bringing you into a level of discernment where attraction alone can no longer choose for you. There was a time when love may have been measured by intensity, by how quickly someone entered your thoughts, by how deeply their absence affected you, by how much uncertainty you were willing to tolerate just to preserve the possibility of being chosen. You may have called the sleepless nights passion, the unanswered questions mystery, and the emotional turbulence a sign that the bond was powerful. But your heart is changing now. You are beginning to recognize that a powerful connection is not always a peaceful one, and a peaceful connection is not always a familiar one. The old version of you may have believed that the person who occupied your mind the most must have been the person meant for you. Yet sometimes a person occupies your mind because your nervous system is trying to solve an old puzzle. Sometimes you are not longing for the person as much as you are longing for resolution. You are waiting for the conversation that never happened, the apology that never arrived, or the commitment that would make the waiting feel worthwhile. Your soul is now teaching you that peace does not always come from receiving the answer you wanted. Sometimes peace comes from no longer needing that answer to move forward. This is where many souls struggle with divine love. They believe the right person will arrive and remove all confusion. They imagine that sacred union will feel like constant certainty, immediate recognition, and an undeniable pull that leaves no room for questions. Yet even a meaningful connection can bring questions because two human beings still carry histories, fears, responsibilities, and free will. The presence of uncertainty does not automatically mean a connection is wrong, just as the presence of excitement does not automatically mean it is right. Sometimes the people who awaken the strongest emotion are revealing the places within you that still confuse longing with love, pursuit with devotion, and emotional distance with mystery. They may touch a hidden place in you that has been waiting to be reassured since childhood. They may activate the desire to finally become important to someone who once made you feel invisible. In that moment, the attraction can feel spiritual because it reaches so deeply. But depth alone is not direction. A wound can be deep, and so can wisdom. Your task is to discover which one is speaking. The two men who were prepared for you may represent more than two romantic possibilities. They may symbolize two old patterns your heart has been learning to distinguish. One may reflect the love you once thought you needed, the love that activates your desire to prove yourself, wait for approval, or earn consistency. This connection may feel like a mountain you must climb, with every small sign of attention appearing as a reward. You may find yourself studying messages, analyzing pauses, and measuring your value by how much effort it takes to be noticed. The other may reflect the love that feels safe enough to expose your fear of being truly seen. This kind of connection can be more gentle, and because it does not demand the same performance, it may bring a different kind of discomfort. When someone is patient enough to see beneath your strength, you may suddenly feel the urge to hide. When someone offers emotional availability, you may discover that receiving is more vulnerable than chasing. The heart that has survived by pursuing love may not immediately know how to remain open when love approaches without a battle. Both may carry meaning. Both may have a role, but meaning does not always mean permanence. A person can be a mirror, a messenger, a turning point, or a doorway. Scripture reminds us in Ecclesiastes that there is a season for every purpose under heaven. Not every season is meant to become a lifetime, and not every sacred encounter is meant to remain in the same form. Some people walk beside you long enough to help you recover a forgotten part of yourself, and then the path separates because the lesson has become part of who you are. And the third, the one no one expected, may appear when you are no longer choosing from the wound that made the first two seem so compelling. This does not mean you should reject someone simply because they feel familiar, or accept someone simply because they feel different. It means your choice becomes sacred when it comes from presence rather than programming. You are not being asked to make a decision based on novelty. You are being invited to notice whether your heart is responding from wisdom or repeating a pattern dressed in new language. The unexpected person may be unexpected because they do not fit the old image your mind created for love. They may not arrive with the drama your nervous system once mistook for destiny. They may arrive with steadiness, honesty, and an invitation to be fully yourself. They may not need to be pursued into existence. They may not force you to wonder where you stand. Their presence could feel like a quiet room after years of listening for footsteps, like warm sunlight entering a house that had remained closed for too long. At first, you might question it. You might wonder whether the absence of anxiety means the absence of chemistry. You might look for the familiar rush and assume something is missing. But what if what is missing is not passion? What if what is missing is fear? What if your body is simply unfamiliar with a connection that does not require it to remain on guard? Give yourself permission to learn the difference between a spark that burns you and a flame that warms you. The first chamber your heart must open is the chamber of worthiness, not the superficial idea that you deserve love because you repeated an affirmation enough times, but the deeper knowing that you do not have to compete with another person to be selected. You do not have to become more desirable, more convenient, more spiritual, or less emotional to be worthy of devotion. Your worth was not created by someone's interest, and it cannot be destroyed by someone's departure. Before any romantic choice becomes clear, this truth must move from the mind into the body. It must become something you feel when a message is delayed, when another person seems more desirable, or when someone fails to recognize what you offer. Worthiness is not proven when everyone chooses you. It is revealed when someone does not, and you still refuse to abandon yourself. It is the quiet strength that says, their inability to meet me is information about the relationship, not a verdict about my value. When worthiness remains wounded, you may compare the two people in front of you and measure yourself through their attention. You may ask which one wants you more, which one is harder to obtain, or which one would make you feel more validated if they finally chose you. But when this key turns, the question changes. You begin asking, where am I respected? Where can I be honest? Where does my body feel allowed to rest? Which connection supports the person I am becoming, rather than rewarding the person I had to pretend to be? You begin noticing whether you can speak without rehearsing every sentence. You notice whether your needs are received as invitations to understand you, or treated as burdens. You notice whether love makes you feel more at home in your own skin. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship of the life God entrusted to you. Proverbs teaches us to guard the heart, not because the heart should become closed, but because what flows from it shapes the whole direction of life. This is the first shift in your divine love frequency. You stop treating love as a prize that confirms your value. You begin allowing love to meet the value that already exists within you. You no longer stand at the edge of someone else's affection asking whether you are enough to enter. You become rooted, and from that rootedness you can recognize the person who approaches you with reverence, rather than the person who only reaches for you when they are lonely. The second chamber is the key of discernment. Your soul may recognize potential in more than one person, but potential is not the same as partnership. Chemistry is not the same as emotional availability. A spiritual connection is not an excuse for inconsistency. Someone can awaken your heart and still be unable to hold it responsibly. Someone can speak beautifully about healing while continuing to create wounds. Someone can feel familiar to your soul and still not possess the maturity required to build a safe life with you. Discernment does not close the heart. It protects the truth within it. It teaches you to watch what a person consistently does rather than becoming hypnotized by what you feel around them. Does their presence create clarity or constant interpretation? Do their words and actions belong to the same reality? Can they meet you in honest conversation? Or do they keep you suspended in questions? Are you becoming more grounded through the connection? Or are you abandoning your inner peace to preserve it? Pay attention to the fruit of the connection. Jesus taught that a tree is known by its fruit. In the same way, a relationship is known by what it produces in your daily life. Does it produce courage, patience, trust, and truth? Or does it produce obsession, secrecy, comparison, and self-doubt? This does not mean every difficult season is a bad sign. Growth can be uncomfortable. There is a difference between the discomfort of becoming more honest and the exhaustion of being repeatedly denied what is basic. The unexpected third choice may not be the most dramatic. They may not activate the old ache that once made you feel alive. Their love may not require you to decode hidden meanings or wait through prolonged silence. This can feel unfamiliar at first. A heart trained by inconsistency may mistake stability for lack of passion. But the body knows the difference between peace that feels empty and peace that feels safe. Give yourself enough stillness to learn that language again. Notice what happens after you spend time with someone. Do you feel clear, nourished, and connected to yourself? Or do you feel compelled to search for reassurance? Check for changes in tone and mentally reconstruct every moment. Your body may whisper the truth before your mind is ready to accept it. A relaxed breath, an unclenched jaw, and the ability to sleep peacefully can become spiritual information. So can the heaviness that repeatedly settles over you after contact with someone who keeps you uncertain. The third key is the release of the identity that needs to be chosen by a particular person. This is one of the most difficult layers to surrender, because sometimes your attachment is not only to the person, it is to the future you imagined with them. It is to the version of yourself you became while hoping they would return. It is to the story that says, if this person chooses me, then everything I endured will finally make sense. You may have built an entire inner home around a possibility. You furnished it with imagined conversations, shared mornings, future celebrations, and the belief that one day the door would open. Releasing that vision can feel like grief, even when the relationship itself was never fully established. Be gentle with yourself in this process. Grief does not prove that you made the wrong choice by letting go. It proves that something mattered to you. But your healing cannot depend on someone else completing the meaning of your past. Some people enter your life to reveal your capacity for feeling. Some awaken wounds that could no longer remain hidden. Some show you the cost of abandoning yourself. And some arrive after the lesson, when you are ready to experience love without turning it into a test of survival. The person who disappointed you may have exposed the places where you were overgiving. The person who disappeared may have shown you how often you accepted absence as a form of communication. The person who made you feel desired may have revealed how easily desire can become a substitute for emotional safety. These revelations are painful, but they are not meaningless. The Lord can use even the wilderness to teach you where the living water is. Releasing an old contract does not mean pretending you never cared. It means you stop asking an unfinished connection to become the proof that you were not foolish to love. You can honor what was real without keeping the door open to what repeatedly harms you. You can bless the lesson without inviting the pattern to continue. Forgiveness may release resentment, but forgiveness does not require renewed access. Love may remain in your heart, while a boundary remains in your life. The fourth key is the return of your inner masculine and inner feminine into cooperation. This is not about gender. It is about the two movements within your heart. The part that knows how to receive, feel, and listen, and the part that knows how to choose, act, and protect what is sacred. The receptive part of you notices the moonlit details, the tone beneath the words, the way your spirit responds. the subtle difference between tenderness and performance. The decisive part of you builds the bridge from knowing to action. It says, "Because I feel this truth, I will live in alignment with it." One without the other can leave you divided. Feeling without boundaries can become self-neglect. Action without feeling can become control. When these forces are divided, you may feel deeply, but refuse to decide. Or you may make quick decisions while ignoring what your heart has been quietly telling you. You may wait for the universe to choose for you because choosing feels dangerous. Yet divine guidance does not remove your responsibility. It strengthens your ability to make a clear choice without betraying yourself. You may ask for a sign while already knowing the answer. You may pray for clarity while continuing to negotiate with what your intuition has repeatedly revealed. But sometimes clarity does not arrive as a lightning bolt. Sometimes it is the same gentle truth returning every morning. Sometimes it is the persistent inner knowing that says you cannot build a peaceful future on a foundation of avoidance. Your receptive heart can notice the subtle truths beneath attraction. Your decisive heart can create boundaries around that truth. Together, they allow you to say yes without fear and no without guilt. They allow you to recognize that a soul connection still requires human integrity. The universe may place possibilities before you, but you are the one who must ask whether those possibilities are aligned with the life you are consciously building. The fifth key is divine timing, but not the version of timing that keeps you waiting indefinitely. Sacred timing is not an invitation to tolerate neglect while calling it patience. It is the process by which your inner readiness, another person's capacity, and the reality of the relationship come into honest alignment. Sometimes a person arrives too early, before either of you knows how to hold what has been awakened. Sometimes someone returns when you have already outgrown the role you played with them. Sometimes the person you expected to be your final answer becomes the bridge that leads you toward the one you could not yet recognize. There are doors that remain closed because you are still trying to enter with an old identity. There are doors that close because they protected you from a future that would have required you to become smaller. And there are doors that open only after you stop pounding on the one that was never meant to remain open. Timing is not always about waiting for a person. Sometimes it is about becoming available for the reality that can actually meet you. This is why the third choice may feel surprising. Your mind has been trying to predict love based on old evidence. Your soul is preparing you to recognize it through a new frequency. The unexpected person may not match your previous pattern because your previous pattern was built around what you had learned to tolerate, not what you were truly ready to receive. Do not mistake delay for rejection, but do not mistake delay for a promise either. Let time reveal character. Let consistency reveal intention. Let reality participate in your discernment. Divine love does not ask you to live entirely in signs while ignoring what is happening directly in front of you. A sign may invite you to pay attention, but it should never be used to excuse repeated dishonesty, cruelty, or absence. The sixth key is magnetic embodiment. You do not call in sacred partnership by performing perfection. You call it in by becoming honest enough that the wrong connection can no longer keep you divided against yourself. This means you stop saying you want commitment while entertaining people who only offer ambiguity. You stop asking for emotional safety while hiding your needs to avoid being abandoned. You stop declaring that you are ready for love while secretly believing that being loved will require you to disappear. Embodiment is the point where your prayer becomes visible in your choices. If you pray for a love that is faithful, you must become willing to walk away from what repeatedly betrays trust. If you pray for communication, you must become willing to speak clearly rather than expecting someone to read your silence. If you pray for tenderness, you must stop mocking your own sensitivity. The energy you embody becomes the language through which you recognize what is aligned. Embodiment is not becoming someone else's ideal. It is allowing your relationships to meet the truth of who you are. When you embody self-respect, you recognize disrespect sooner. When you embody openness, you stop using independence as armor. When you embody peace, you no longer need chaos to confirm that something matters. The person who aligns with this version of you may not be the one your former self would have chosen. That is why the third choice can feel almost invisible at first. The old pattern looks for an emotional lightning strike. The healed heart notices a warm light that remains on. The old pattern asks, "How much do they desire me?" The healed heart asks, can we meet each other with truth? And there is one final key, the willingness to choose what is real, even when fantasy feels more intoxicating. Your soul may have imagined a particular face, a particular reunion, or a particular ending. You may have received signs that seem to point toward one person, yet no sign is greater than your lived experience, and no spiritual message should require you to override your dignity. Fantasy can be beautiful, but it becomes dangerous when it asks you to ignore reality. You can honor the possibility of a future without giving it more authority than the present. You can hope for reconciliation without placing your life on hold. You can believe in divine miracles while still requiring human beings to demonstrate repentance, maturity, and consistent effort. The third person may be unexpected, but the choice itself must still be conscious. You are not here to be swept away from yourself. You are here to meet a love that allows you to remain whole. If someone enters your life and asks you to betray your values, silence your intuition, or accept less than mutual devotion, that is not sacred union, simply because the connection feels intense. Sacred union begins when two people are willing to become truthful at the same time. It does not mean there will never be fear, conflict, or uncertainty. It means those experiences can be met with communication rather than manipulation, with accountability rather than disappearance, and with compassion rather than self-abandonment. A sacred relationship is not one in which both people are always calm. It is one in which both people are willing to return to truth after fear has spoken. It is a place where an apology is followed by changed behavior, where boundaries are understood as acts of care, and where conflict does not become a weapon used to threaten the bond. Real love is not proven by never struggling. It is proven by how honestly two people repair what has been damaged. So if you are standing between what was expected and what is beginning to emerge, do not rush to name the answer. Notice who you are becoming in each connection. Notice which relationship expands your honesty. Notice which one asks you to shrink. Notice where your spirit feels open and where your nervous system is constantly bracing for loss. Notice whether you are able to pray, work, create, and sleep without the relationship consuming every inner resource. Notice whether the connection makes room for your purpose, your friendships, your health, and your relationship with God. A love that is truly aligned will not demand that you abandon the rest of your life in order to prove its importance. You may be tempted to ask, which man is my destiny? But a more powerful question is, who am I when I am with each of them? And which version of me is aligned with the life my soul is ready to live? Ask yourself what your presence becomes around each person. Do you become generous or guarded, courageous or performative, honest or strategic? Do you feel invited to grow or pressured to earn a place? The answer may not arrive through comparing two people as though they are objects placed before you. It may arrive through recognizing the atmosphere each connection creates within your own spirit. Here is what your deeper self has been trying to tell you. You are not being punished by uncertainty. You are being taught to recognize the difference between being wanted and being met. You are being released from the belief that the loudest connection is the truest one. You are being prepared to choose from wholeness rather than hunger. Being wanted can satisfy the ego for a moment, but being met nourishes the soul over time. Being wanted may come through attention, desire, or pursuit. Being met comes through listening, presence, responsibility, and mutual care. You have known what it feels like to be someone's temporary fascination. Now you are learning what it means to be someone's conscious, consistent choice. The two men may have been part of the preparation. One may have opened a door. One may have shown you the wound behind your desire. One may have helped you remember what your heart is capable of feeling. But preparation is not the same as destination. A person can be significant without being your forever. A connection can be sacred without becoming a relationship. A goodbye can be part of the path without being a failure of love. Do not measure the value of a connection only by how long it lasted. A brief encounter can redirect an entire life. A difficult relationship can teach you a boundary that protects every love that follows. A missed opportunity can reveal that you were still asking for love from a place of fear. Even the relationships that did not stay may have carried seeds that are now growing in the soil of your wisdom. And the Starseed may appear when you are no longer looking for someone to confirm the story you already wrote. They may arrive when you have stopped asking the universe to make one particular person change. They may meet you after you have learned that being chosen is not enough. You must also feel safe choosing. They may not arrive according to the timetable your mind designed. They may enter through an ordinary conversation, a shared responsibility, a friendship, or a moment when you are focused on becoming whole rather than being found. Do not dismiss what is gentle simply because it does not announce itself with thunder. Some of the most life-changing blessings begin like a small seed beneath the soil, invisible before they become impossible to deny. If your heart is trembling, let it tremble. That does not mean you are lost. It may mean the old map is dissolving. You are learning to trust a form of love that does not require constant pursuit. You are learning that the most powerful decision may be the one made quietly, without proving anything to anyone. You do not have to make a public declaration while your heart is still integrating what it knows. You do not have to explain your discernment to people who benefited from your confusion. Sometimes the holiest decision is made in silence, when you stop returning to the same door and begin walking toward the life that has been waiting for your full presence. Tonight, place one hand over your heart and ask yourself without judgment, what kind of love am I truly available for now? Do not answer with the person you hope will change. Answer with the qualities your life can actually hold: honesty, consistency, tenderness, mutual effort, emotional courage, and peace. Let the answer become practical. If you are available for honesty, what truth have you been avoiding? If you are available for consistency, what inconsistency are you still explaining away? If you are available for tenderness, where can you become gentler with yourself? If you are available for mutual effort, where have you been carrying an entire connection alone? Your desired love must become a standard you are willing to honor, not merely a wish you repeat while accepting its opposite. Then ask, where am I still choosing from fear? Perhaps you are afraid that if you release one person, no one else will come. Perhaps you are afraid that the unexpected path cannot be trusted because it does not resemble the dream you built. Perhaps you are afraid that choosing yourself will leave you alone. Fear often speaks in absolute language. It says this is your only chance, that no one else will understand you, that you must decide immediately, or that the loss of this person means the loss of love itself. But fear is not prophecy. It is a protective response shaped by old experiences. You can listen to it compassionately without allowing it to govern your future. You can say, I understand why you are afraid, but I will not let fear select my companion. But choosing yourself does not close the door to love, it clears the doorway. It removes the people and patterns that required you to stand outside your own heart, waiting for permission to enter. Choosing yourself may feel lonely before it feels liberating, especially if you have been accustomed to receiving identity through another person's attention. Yet the space created by self-respect is not emptiness. It is sacred room. In that room, your intuition can speak. Your standards can become clear. Your energy can return to you. And when love arrives, it will not have to compete with the unfinished business of every person you refuse to release. You were never meant to be trapped between two possibilities forever. You were meant to become so aligned with your truth that the right choice could meet you in clarity. And when that choice arrives, it may not feel like the destruction of your life. It may feel like your life finally becoming quiet enough for recognition. The answer may come as a conversation that feels clean rather than confusing. It may come as a boundary that brings immediate relief. It may come as the realization that you no longer desire what once consumed you. Or it may come through the arrival of someone who does not ask you to perform, chase, compete, or disappear. However it comes, trust the peace that follows truth. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching, you're healing. This is your sacred space, and we're just getting started.